body language and ridiculous situations. Listener discretion is advised.
So I got a message for everybody who's going to listen to this podcast, everybody that pays to be a Patreon, and for everybody in the back who's maybe having a shitty week, gonna have a shitty week, or continues to have a shitty year. I know it sucks, man, and sometimes life and your deity of choice sticks it in and breaks it off. But I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to the next 2 to 3 hours of nonsense arguments and dick jokes because, God damn it, believe it or not, this is what fucking calms me down. And there's a flaw in that. But listen, you're having a hard time, you're trying to do your best, just do what you fucking can, man. And if not, fuck. Welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
Zombies. You're listening to Trick or Treat Radio, starring the Deadites.
Welcome to episode 474 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is the world's most dangerous podcast and is recorded in front of an undead studio audience here at Castle Wolfenstein, also at the Lair of Lost Swag within the Raven Chateau, where Ollie's playing with a baby, it looks like. So what's going on there?
He is. He's running amok.
He's running amok. We also apparently, I don't know where MZ went, but he's not on the
I'm
live.
here.
No, I know you're there, but you're not on the live feed, so I'm refreshing you. Let me see if that works.
Yeah.
He's
Please
never
refresh.
looked better.
Yeah.
Yes. Make me feel refreshed, Wolfie. Come on.
I'm trying.
Give it to me.
Trying. It's not working out too well.
Do your best, baby. Work
here.
your magic.
Here, I'm going to give you someone else's camera. Let's see if that works. Oh, we got Raven Shadow twice. Look at that.
Oh, God.
The Raven Shadow roulette.
A pair of Raven Shadows.
Yeah.
Raven Shadow, Tomox, and Zaymot from the G.I. Joe cartoon. I like that. One of us will have a scar.
What if I just try to get out and then go back in? How about that?
Just turn your camera off. That's all you got to do.
Yeah,
just hit the camera button and turn
I
back.
know that. That's what I'm going to do. Shut up.
Holy crap.
Wait, did he not just say leave and then come back, basically, right? That's kind
did.
That's kind of what he intimated. So, never know with
It
that
sounds-
fucking guy.
It sounds like
I'm
Monsters,
never intimate with you. There.
Okay, there. Perfect. Look at you. Look at you. You look so handsome. And I turned
Oh.
the technical difficulties on a little late.
Technical difficult. What the hell?
Oh, baby. What if I just go out and try to come back in? Give me a minute. Come back. Come back.
All right. Well, MZ is now there. So we are also broadcasting from Casa de 50 and the Lair of the Gods. We are in 4 locations. This is like a thing now. I should stop saying that we're in 4 locations again because this is a thing.
Really. Yeah. It's gotten old, Wolfie. We've done it for what? About
Year and a half?
16 months now. 16 months now. Time to knock your
I
shit.
think it's longer than that, dude.
Even more of a reason to knock your shit off.
The 74th episode we've done this.
Look at Aries. Oh, yeah, that's right. We did it with 400, right? Or no, 401.
400 was
Yeah.
the last one in
Start-
person.
That's right.
It started with 400. It started with 400. Aries looks a lot clearer today. I don't know what's going on. He looks. I mean, I could see every wrinkle and frown line in his face.
What the fuck?
Yeah, jeez.
Look at this. Look at how neat this is.
No, he's
Oh, you
trimming.
trimmed.
Oh.
That's what it is.
Trim my shit up. Went and sat in a barber chair.
No, you did not.
I
You
did.
let a barber near that thing?
I let a barber do this to me. Barber I've known
Or
since
did you go to-
I went to high school with him. So
Oh,
Or
so,
did you go to a beauty shop? I bet he went
I
to a
went to a barber.
so does Raven Shadow know him then?
I know that dude. Yeah.
Yes.
Was talking about being a barber in high school. Back in like 93, 94. Got his own nice little shop. I've never gone there because I've only got my hair cut by a barber once in my life. But no, good for Aries.
Well,
He's
yeah,
doing very well.
We all know that you go to a stylist.
I went to a stylist yesterday. What do you think of that?
Can't tell.
Yeah, I mean your face is covered up with fur. How can you tell?
Did she do your beard?
Yeah. No, she went high and tight, baby. It was nice.
High and tight.
I go to a stylist myself.
Whew. She could
Is his name?
She couldn't another stylist.
I go to a stylist and I get my pedicures done.
Oh my fucking god! Oh my god! Quentin Tarantino, eat your heart out.
Look at those, Quentin.
Oh, those are fucking weird. The malformed fucking feet.
Do you have two big toes? What the fuck is going on there?
What the hell? What's with those malformed feet?
They're not malformed. They're regular feet, just like anyone else's.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they kind of are. My feet are normal. What are you talking about? Look at that.
All
The size of that
Because I was
little
moving them around.
toe. That's the size of your big toe.
The third and fourth toe are as big as your fucking big toe.
They're not.
MZ comes from the fucking island of the malformed men.
You can
Yeah,
grab on the
look
tree
how-
branches with those things.
The island of malformed toes.
Yeah. Hank McCoy called. He wants his feet back.
Yeah, Hank McCoy.
It's like those pizza joints would say like our large is their small or their small is our large. Something or whatever the
Yeah.
fuck. I'm not doing it. Yeah. You know, like you have big ham feet.
Our small is their large.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh boy.
You could climb a building with that.
And she does a good job with my feet. She does a good job with my feet.
I'm sure she needs fucking like therapy after taking a look at those
No.
fucking things.
She trims the nails and she
Oh.
massages the feet and
Oh.
she chisels away the calluses and everything. You know what I mean?
I hope
She's,
you tip her fucking handsomely.
she's playing with my feet. Isn't that enough?
What? Double D says last time I saw feet like that, it was in Planet of the Apes. He says you have orangutan feet. Wow.
I picture being like NASCAR. There's like fucking 8 people there with like drills and brushes.
I'm picturing the scene from Dumb and Dumber with the angle grinder and just sparks shooting off.
Yeah.
Oh, and Corny says I got this big ass screen. I need a warning so I can leave the room next time.
Yeah.
Jesus
about you.
Christ. Your toes must have been like fucking giant feet on his fucking big ass screen.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, I can't even look at him. It's so fucking weird. Quentin Tarantino is watching. He's like, "Oh, show him again. Yeah, yeah. Let me get you my next movie."
Oh, who is
He never shows. He never shows guys' feet in his movie.
That's because he hasn't met you yet.
Now that I think about it, I mean, yeah, he's got a foot fetish. I mean, we all know that, and it's always women's feet. But I don't think he ever shows a guy's feet. Does he? I don't think he ever has.
Johnny?
Well,
who is-
actually, at the beginning of Django Unchained, where all the slaves are walking in file. There is a shot of them walking along, and they don't have any shoes on. They're all bare feet. So maybe, I don't know. It's just an observation. It's just something that just popped into my head.
Hopefully, no one listening had that fucking vision pop into their head.
That's what you want to say, huh, Wolfie? Hopefully nobody's watching, nobody's listening. That's just great.
No, hopefully nobody listening is envisioning that.
Oh,
Evil Corny asks, "Why is that woman being punished?" I hope you give her
She's
like
not-
at least a 50% tip. Jesus Christ,
I give her a tip. I'm not going to
50%.
tell you how much. I give it 50%. No, I'm about 20%.
Put it in a buck, you cheap bastard.
Put it in a book.
Hey, cheap bastard, fuck you, douchebag. At least I get my feet done. Who the hell knows what you got going on in your socks?
At least I get my feet done?
Just because you're too lazy to bend over and clip your own nails, don't try to shame him.
Yeah.
It's not being lazy.
Raven Shadow has a complicated relationship with nail clippers, anyways, and tweezers.
True.
Well, that's true. That's true. That's true. But no, I cut my toenails.
Oh boy.
If they start growing a little long, I take care of them. But she
Sure.
takes care of all the little nuances and
The
crevices
corn
that are
and the
in.
cheese.
There's no corns or cheese.
Oh god, those things are disgusting. you
They're
got
feet.
big.
What do you want them to look like?
You got big baloney gumdrop nipples, and you got huge fucking orangutan feet. What the fuck? You are a mutant. Is he gonna show up when the multiverse fucking opens up in the MCU, Raven Shadow?
Oh yeah, he's gonna be the fucking first Morlock to come out of the suit.
I always wonder what the M and MZ stood for. More like zero.
Yeah, what do your feet look like then?
They look like human feet.
Yeah, well, we don't know that, do we?
I am
And
definitely
also-
not showing them on the fucking camera.
Yeah,
because I
The
respect.
three of us
No,
have the
of course.
decency to keep our feet off camera.
474 episodes, and you're complaining now. I never showed my feet off before. Not that they're anything to show off, but I don't show.
We're
my,
complaining
and-
now
and
because
make
now
like
you
no-
just did it.
Yeah, you did it. That's why
Oh, wham.
Are we supposed to complain about things before you do them?
we could. There's
Yeah.
a lot we could probably
Yeah,
complain about.
Good. Yeah. There is a lot.
Who is in fucking wind tunnel right now? I don't understand.
It's probably MZ.
Yeah, it is me.
Yeah, because
You guys can hear that?
a little bit. I'm sure your place is fucking hot, right?
It's like an oven. Let me fix it. I'll be right back. Hold on.
It's really good for the audio.
Have the fan blow on your feet.
Oh God,
That was
Don't get
fucking
a crotch
Corny, we're
shot.
sorry.
Jesus
We're
Christ.
sorry.
corny. Go to the bathroom. Take a break.
Yeah, just come back in a little bit. Oh God.
There. That better?
I don't know. We'll give it a few moments.
Okay.
I can still hear it.
I had a
It's okay.
still hear it.
I don't want you to be.
It's on
fucking-
its lowest setting. That's the thing.
It's just blowing right at the microphone, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I can hear it more on this side than I can on the other side. Hold on.
We're gonna go live now to Mount Zero in Hampton Beach for the hurricane.
With our coverage of the hurricane.
Jesus.
It's sucking balls, Sally. It's windy like a motherfucker. This is great. Awesome. Just come over, dude. I have the AC flowing. I got the fan on. You don't hear that.
No, you
Just
I
come
hear you. That's worse.
Corny's pissed at you right now.
At me?
Yeah,
For
I-
putting your crotch right in the fucking camera on his big screen.
I was standing up.
Yeah, I know.
I was standing up to move the fan. It's not my fault that the camera on my tablet is ball high.
I'm
I'm sorry. Who set the camera
Yeah,
up?
yeah. Actually, who owns the device? Who set it up?
I did.
Yes.
Then
All
it's your fault.
Yep, all your fault.
Yeah.
Including with the decision to move my fan, so you guys wouldn't be complaining. I tried to do you guys a favor, and this is what I get.
He's got fucking hobbit toes and camel toes.
Oh shit. All right, so on this week's show, we're going to be talking about a movie called Demonic. It is the latest flick from director Neil Blomkamp, the some would say visionary director of District 9 and Elysium, and also Chappie. Speaking of Chappie, have any of you guys seen Chappie? That's one of I haven't seen that one. I think it's the only movie of his I haven't seen.
that's what the robot friend, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Not fully.
Well, I should have suspected Raven Shadow.
Yeah.
Did you catch it on Bomber Radio once or twice?
No, it might have been rented. I don't know. I feel it was like. I guess I'll say no then. Maybe it's best to say no. I'll just
Best to say no. Evil Corner says, "What's the Cash App, Aries?" Oh shit!
Apparently, I'm the Trick or Treat Radio hitman.
Yes, you are.
yeah.
Well, if people, if people are in the death pool, they could always give you a little tip to make things go their way.
Aries, I'll give you $20 to make it happen sooner.
To come get you? Oh, Jesus. That's dark, man.
I think, sorry, wrong meeting. But no,
Wrong meeting.
I'm wrong. Yeah.
Brave Joe, do you need to lay down on that couch and tell us what's going on? We're gonna have a little therapy session here.
Johnny,
Tell me about your mother.
But
She scarred me by knocking on the floor. Tell me to knock it off. I was never the same after that. And then she buys me smokes because she feels bad for me. She comes by, brings me handicapped fries and smokes.
I love that she interrupted you having sex. That is too funny.
and it was a phone call, okay? Because I have.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I have.
Right.
It was a shoot. I had a private line when I was 13.
Oh, look at you.
Oh, whoop-de-doo.
I had a pager when I was 18.
Here's something I don't know if we've addressed or not, and I just kind of blocked it out, and I'm going to regret asking this question. Did you finish after the knock it off phone call?
Oh, God.
You know what? That's not a bad question.
Yes.
Yeah.
While the phone call was going
during
on?
the call? That's a little weird.
No,
Did that help you get there?
No, but the time, like, that's fucking weird. That's fucking weird. But now it's like, okay, all right, we're gonna hurry up. I was like fucking 19. Oh no, I was 20. I was 20. Living at home.
That's all right.
I love how you brag that you're living at home in 20, but you had your own phone line.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah. Because I was a big kid.
Yeah.
You still are.
He had his own dealer when he was 16.
Oh, man.
Oh man, fucking typhoon is fucking killing me over here.
So when your mom interrupted you, you didn't go limp at all.
He's really pressing the issue on this. We kind of dropped it, and MZ's like, so tell me more.
I was 20, so no. But
Fair enough.
there you go.
And the girl that you were with, what was she saying when mom interrupted the festivities?
You really give a fuck about this, huh?
I actually do.
I'm waiting for the with the lotion to start lotioning up now too.
Yeah,
you got it right here.
Oh God.
Zero lube.
Yeah, you should get your own fucking lube fucking promotional deal.
Yeah, forget manscaping. Let's do fucking
man lubing.
I don't want lotion that's going to smell like MZ. That's just.
It'll be called,
I don't know.
It'll call it lube it up.
That's fucking. Yeah, that I don't remember. It was a long time ago, but I know it all worked out. But I'm fascinated with what my dad was saying. Because my dad was the driver in that. Maybe we should stop.
Well, he was probably jealous. No offense.
Oh, he's probably like, hey, where's my 20-year-old?
What?
Ross. It's a long time ago, man.
Too long
Different continuity.
Yeah, that was like 10 continuities ago, probably.
10 continuities ago, yeah. The Silver Age. That's fucking weird. So Monster Zero was a fucking psychopath, huh?
Well, we've known that.
We just
Evil Corny says y'all think his parents would want to share a phone line with him. That's probably why.
That's
You
a
didn't get one
valid
because you
point.
wanted one.
I had my awesome dope fucking voice. I had my answer machine. That was good.
What was your message? You remember?
I would actually do I was probably like 14, 15 with my own voice. I forget what it's called. Answer machine. And I would even try to I would leave like skits at times. I would record stuff from the TV, like some Ren and Stimpy stuff. I would sample and kind of early on, even down to when I met you, Johnny. And I'm sure Aries and MZ did the same thing. How we had the blank tape and we would just have it at the ready in our cars. If something was cool, we just hit record. And that was the days when you couldn't just click something on your phone or computer to bring it up if you wanted something dope. And how great was it going through some of those old tapes? Sometimes, some nights not so good, but going through just what's recorded. But it was a different time.
It was a different time.
But how much did we laugh at going through those old Dr. Katz episodes
Oh, yeah.
over here?
I don't know what you're talking about. I live in the ocean. Yeah, I think I still have those. Let me see if I have them on the thing here. Yeah, manatee. I got a fucking sound deck for manatee.
I got a question.
Yeah, what you got to do is get yourself an education and a job. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't think I'm anything. I live in the ocean. I have a layer of blubber to keep me warm in the water. You're fat. You got to get Weight Watchers.
What was this, Dr. Katz?
Yeah, Dr. Katz, yeah.
I never watched an episode.
Really?
Never seen an episode. Yeah.
Seek out that particular skit, Dr. Katz Manatee.
Manatee.
Yeah, it was Jim Gaffigan, right? Who's doing the
Well, yeah.
Sounds like him, yeah.
He's on TV's Archer and a local Necronomicon boy, but he was on, and I think one of the other not drawn in quarter, but some other weird like Parkinson's style animation, a very shaky cam. But Dr. Katz, what was his name? He was a comedian, and then the cartoon was he was a psychologist, and different comedians would be on the couch, and it was a great show ahead of its time. And TV's Archer played his son, his 20-something living at home son. I can relate. But it was just.
Did he have his own line?
I didn't see the entire series.
Let's see. So that's what we're doing. We're going to talk about Demonic from Neil Blomkamp, and we do have some voice messages ready to go. So if you're listening live and you do want to get into voice message, feel free to send it to podcast@trickortreatradio.com. It can be about the film that we're talking about, Demonic. It can be about any of Neil Blomkamp's films, any of his shorts that he's put out. Anything like that, or you know what, any of the films we've talked about in the recent past or years, or even just anything you're digging. You checking out a new band, a new movie, a new show, whatever. Raven Shadow, there's I've been wanting to do this with you, but I'm trying to think of how to make it work remotely. I want you to do song reactions because that's a big thing on YouTube. I don't know if any of you guys have watched listener reactions to songs.
No, I've seen a few of those. I've seen it was like kids listen to Motorhead Ace of Spades for the first time.
Yeah,
and it would be like the hip hop community listens to Ace of Spades.
Right. Or there's also musician. I've seen opera singers who react to music. There's music production people, drummers, guitarists, whatever. Everyone has their own fucking gimmick, right? Of what they're going to be talking about, or they're just a kind of a layman who's never heard any of this stuff, and that's their sort of thing, is to react to first time listens, But I think it would be, I don't know why, I just think it would be funny with you.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that.
But the thing is, the idea is that you film up close while you're watching it, the reaction. I guess we could do it from there. I I would just have to zoom in on you or something like that, or we could do it from one of your other devices or something like that. But yeah, there's a band that I'm really been digging on the last year or so called Orbit Culture. They're melodic death metal, but they embody a lot of like the dude sounds a little bit like Hetfield when he sings, and a little bit like Chuck Billy from Testament when he fucking growls. But it's like very modern melodic death metal. It's really fucking great. They're one of the best bands out there right now. And they just released a new song that I think I would love to see your fucking reaction to this thing.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll have to do something like that. I think that'd be kind of fun. I don't know if it would be like a Patreon thing or whatever, but it would definitely be a lot easier when we could do it in person. But, you know, who fucking knows when that's going to happen. So
Just come over.
yeah, I'll be right there. I'll see you in 7 hours.
All good.
Let's see. What? Do any of you guys give a fuck about the new Matrix movie? I know MZ probably doesn't.
I mean, Revelations really kind of ruined everything, you know. So, probably not. I mean, the main reason why Matrix and its sequel was such a big hit was because of its, you know, its use of special effects. That was its big selling point. Never mind if the story really made any sense, or if the performances were any good yet. You know, people just look for the wild fight scenes and the special effects, and there were plenty of them. And it was good, and I still think it's good. But
Your fan. I'm sorry to interrupt, MZ. Your fan's killing me. When you talk for extended period of time, is it
Yeah.
pointing at you?
yes, it is,
Are you
because
able?
it's
I realize that, but are you able to point it like at?
how about that?
Well, I don't know. I need for you to like talk for a few minutes to see.
Okay, well, like, as I was saying, you know, that was the main reason why the at least the first two films were such a big hit, was because of the fight scenes, the camera work, the special effects.
That is better, by the way.
I mean, okay, but you know, I mean, the first film came out what, 1999, I think.
99, yeah.
Yeah, I mean we're about 22, 23 years removed from that, and you know, the only way you're going to draw people in is if you have wilder effects or wilder camera movements or wilder fights. And you know, I mean, you got to really be original in order to impress audiences nowadays, because I mean, we've seen everything that special effects can do, computers can do, you know. It has to be really something special.
Well, I think from what go ahead, Ramshaw, you go.
I mean, I think most of us, at least I was part of the team. Johnny was there. If not, we had a big crew that went to go see it. And I fucking adored the first Matrix. I loved it. It was fantastic. Now, obviously, they had special effects that was, it created a style. It created I don't know if genre is the right word, but it created a style at least. Love the first Matrix. I think it's perfect as it is. I was not a fan of the sequels. I've still not seen part 3. I didn't love part 2. I didn't see the Animatrix. I don't think it needs to be a brand or an overall mythology. First one, I think is a perfect film. Love it. That and Blade sold a whole lot of fucking DVDs back in the day, brother. You know what I mean? That was that was like Fisher Price. That was, if you got a DVD player, that was the 2 movies you got.
Yeah.
That was what you got.
Yeah.
Love the first Matrix. For me, once again, I know it has its fans. People love it. I checked out during Zion when they were doing that weird, fucked up shit. I can get behind hedonism. but it just became too much for me personally.
I gotta say, like I actually love the whole series. I'll agree the third film isn't quite as good as the others, but I thought the second was fucking amazing. There's some really great action set pieces in that, and also I love the introduction of the character of the Merovingian. Just so much of that I thought was badass. So I love the second one. Third one, I can totally get why people feel the way they do. When they went to Zion, like it's not as exciting. And I get the arc, I get what they were going for, but I can see why people would feel that way. But seems like what they're doing with this is in essence it's a sequel / reboot, like in a sense, like maybe in a similar way to how they did Force Awakens. Like it's gonna touch on some of the same ground, but introduce new characters and have the old ones as well. I think that's kind of the sense that I get. I don't know otherwise. But they did release the name. It's Matrix Resurrections, and they released a trailer to a select audience, only in person, so it's not available online as far as I'm aware yet. But I guess Neil Patrick Harris is in it. He's at the very beginning. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's an odd choice.
Joey Pants.
That I don't know. I do know that Carrie-Anne Moss is in it. I don't believe Larry Fishburne is in it. I haven't seen his name anyway, so maybe he's a cameo or surprise. Corny says Cornel West does commentary on the Matrix trilogy, and he breaks a lot of the philosophy down on that series.
Really?
Who's Cornel
West?
Who is that?
He's like, was he like I think he's like a physics educator. I've seen him on on news programs.
Okay, I looked him up and I totally recognize him. I just didn't know his name.
Yeah,
he's a philosopher, political activist, social critic, and public intellectual is how they refer to him here. Okay.
Yeah, he's a smart dude.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I would definitely check that out. Corny says, I love the Matrix series. There's a lot of deep shit in it. Yeah, I totally agree. And it seems like they're going to, I think it's ripe because that was on the cutting edge of technology. And I think now it's ripe for, another entry into the series because technology has advanced so much since that came out. Like people didn't even have, people didn't even have computers back in 99. Like a lot of people didn't, but,
right.
But now everyone carries one in their fucking pocket. So
yeah.
And we are in essence tapped into the Matrix, and it is kind of interesting, and I'll be curious to see what direction they could take it. It could go wrong. It could go very wrong, but I also am super interested to see where it goes.
I want to take the pill that tastes like steak. I want that. I want to be.
What the fuck, Raven Shadow?
What?
Tastes like steak.
Yeah, the pill. You know what I mean? Like the what's the one where you just make it go away?
What are you in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory or something? What the hell are you talking about?
No, spoiler alert. Like, I mean, this movie's been fucking 20-something years old. When Joey Pants is in the fucking restaurant with his awesome dope.
Oh, okay, the steak scene. All right, I know what he's talking about.
Yeah. Like I fucking you don't fucking know. Yeah, I love the fucking movie, but I don't know what I'm fucking talking about. But yeah, no, that was good.
You're kind of referencing two different parts in one shot there.
Yeah. The pill has nothing to do with the steak.
Yes, it does.
When you brought up Joey Pants, then it made sense.
Well, he's talking about how he's in the Matrix and he knows he's not eating steak, but his mind thinks he's eating steak. But you're also referencing the pill that would keep someone in the Matrix. Those are two different scenes.
Corny. He didn't say that when. Yes, that was the same scene.
No, it wasn't. The pills was Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
No, corny. No, not corny. Pants says, if I take, he took the blue pill, whatever the one that made it taste like steak. He wanted that one. Then he was in Memento.
All right, we're not going to argue about this. Rewatch the movie.
Yeah.
The other thing to keep in mind too, and I don't want to talk too much about the Matrix. It's coming out in December. We'll probably talk about it again, but. Think about how, back then, Keanu started just training Kung Fu, as far as I'm aware. I think he did it for the Matrix films. But just think about how much training he's had since then.
Yeah.
Like, and MZ, I know you haven't seen the John Wick films, but goddamn, like he is an action star now. Like I don't know if you saw the video of him prepping for the John Wick stuff, but he was like shooting guns and like doing like an obstacle course with guns, and he was fucking the real deal.
Really?
And we saw Man of Tai Chi as well, if you guys remember, where he was quite good in that as well.
That's right. Yeah. I got to get on that. Maybe this weekend I'll watch the trilogy.
Yeah, I think you dig it, honestly. Like, it's not, it's not going to be, like fucking trauma or butt crack or whatever. But, they're
fuck it.
as far as polished like Hollywood action, it's about as good as it gets, I think, for that style of Hollywood action.
Yeah.
So.
Now, MZ, you showed a little surprise with Neil Patrick Harris being in it. You got to remember when Keanu Reeves was cast, that was also completely out of the norm for him to be cast in this type of movie.
Oh yeah. I mean, he was more notably for the Bill and Ted films and
drama. Honestly, well, he did Speed. I guess he did some action, but he was mostly in romantic comedies and dramas.
Well,
but you're right. He did do Speed like 6 years prior.
Yeah, he did Speed. Raven did Speed 6 years prior.
Raven was like, he did Speed.
Oh, I fucking love that. But no, he's not a movie called Point Break, sir.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Point
Break.
But
I mean, those are also different movies than this, and that's why The Matrix was thought to be out of the ordinary for him to do this. And I don't know if people know this. MZ might find this interesting. It was actually supposed to be Will Smith in The Matrix.
Oh hell no!
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, I heard.
He turned it down to do Wild Wild West.
Oh
yeah,
boy.
Smart move, dickhead. Yeah, smart move, dickhead. Hey, at least you got to work with Selma Hayek. So that's the only shining point of that. Outside of that, fuck Will Smith. Oh God.
Honestly, that couldn't have gone any better because. Like, I feel that those movies really transformed Keanu Reeves as a movie star, and he did have some misses after that. I think he did was it Ronin 47 or something like that? You guys remember what that one was?
Yeah, and he also did one about a letter in a mailbox or something. I don't know.
Well,
he was 47 Ronin. That was it. I got him reversed, but I mean, I thought it was okay. But he had some kind of misses after that. But then when the Wick films came out, man, he just turned around everything.
Well, even the first Matrix took the piss. It had a whoa moment, like he kind of call back to Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
Because that was still his catchphrase.
Yeah.
And happily he got away from that.
It'll always be his catchphrase. He can't escape that. Does he get? Now I don't know, but does he give a whoa at all in the Wick films?
No, he's gotten away from that. They were trying to make that his "I'll be back," and luckily, as he became a bigger star, he was able to push back against it.
Ugh.
The first John Wick, I think, is a fucking perfect action Charlie Bronson revenge picture.
Except for that scene with the dog.
But that's it. What better reason to come out of your retirement? All right, your wife just died. She bought you a dog to fill the void, and some punk motherfuckers kill the dog and steal his car. That's fucking revenge. You know what I mean? That's all you need. And even the characters in the movie are like, oh shit. Yep. Okay, that makes sense. Now, I gotta say, I think John Wick is a fucking masterpiece. I love everything about it. I don't love the subsequent films the same way.
Yeah, you're nuts.
It's good, but I think it's too.
You probably watched them in 4 different sittings, and you don't remember what happened in the previous one.
What happened, man?
They're awesome. They're great, but I think I get fucking exhausted. I get an anxiety attack watching some of this stuff. I don't even fucking know. But I mean, they're great. They are great. But one is fucking perfect. Once again, taking one is all you need. I could do the whole same joke again. Taken 2. This time we have your ex-wife. Okay, click. What the fuck's the problem? Don't fucking, you know what I mean? Like, why would you do it? I can understand taking your daughter, but we take your ex-wife. Maybe you don't go to Europe that day.
It is kind of interesting though. So we're talking about Matrix, and I know Dexter's coming back. Like, there's a lot of because everyone is starved for content now. Like, it's crazy. Like, especially with the pandemic, obviously things are somewhat back to normal, even though like cases are fucking skyrocketing some places. But like it's kind of like the streaming wars right now. Like, we have all these big. There's Hulu, there's Prime, there's Netflix, Disney Plus, HBO Max, like all these different huge streaming networks, and then you have the smaller ones, if you want to call it the Shudder, the Arrows, and all this stuff, and like everyone's competing for content, and it's a good time to be like in charge of a big property because you're probably going to get a knock on your door or a phone call. So it's interesting. I wonder when the bubble's going to burst, if you will, because I mean, there's going to be a time when there's just too much out there, and it already is like that. I don't know if you guys remember, was it Quibi, that streaming network? Yeah. It was around for like 6 months, and they had huge high-profile shows, and it already went under.
Well, because that failed because of timing for them. They were marketing themselves as the mobile streaming app at the point where the world was closing down and everyone was going to be at home.
Yeah. Yeah, it was 6 months. It lasted 6 months. And I mean, that's a short fucking time for a streaming network in this day and age. But they probably just saw the writing on the wall and pulled the plug. But it is kind of crazy. I think we're going to see more of that. And eventually, who knows? Maybe something like I don't know. I'm not saying Hulu's owned by Disney now, so that's a different thing. But like maybe one of those bigger ones goes away eventually. I don't know which one. I doubt Netflix, Prime, or Hulu, but maybe kind of a lower tier one or something like that. Another one will go away eventually, and the properties will be bought up by the bigger ones.
Well, I think what you're going to start seeing is the network ones start merging with other ones.
Yeah,
because all these individual networks, people aren't going to want to subscribe to those. So Peacock is going to merge with Netflix or something like that.
Well, yeah, and that's interesting you bring that up. I when you said merge, I actually thought about that because Peacock bought the WWE Network. So now WWE Network is on Peacock. So if you want to watch WWE, you go, you get Peacock. So that's one of the interesting ones where I'm sure they're going to be buying up some of the smaller ones. Like I wouldn't be surprised. Like Fox bought Tubi, but I wouldn't be surprised if one of the big guns came and took Tubi away from Fox or something like that. But yeah, it's still kind of like the Wild West out there as far as streaming goes, and there's going to be a lot of changes, and it'll be interesting to see where it goes. But I think they got a stay of execution because of the pandemic, where people were home and they needed stuff to do. So, and Disney and other places were able to try out these new sort of premium movies from home, like Black Widow or Mulan or whatever, and try out these business models to see if they work. And they don't make nearly as much money, but at least they can recoup some of it as opposed to just dumping it on Disney Plus for free or whatever, So, yeah, interesting times. Now the stuff's going back to theaters. It's still not making the kind of money they would like, obviously, because people are still afraid to go out, which I can't fucking blame them, So, yeah, it'll be crazy to see how things kind of unfold as time goes on. But I'm sure this is a conversation we can get deeper into at another point down the road. But I want to continue to move on and kind of wrap this up here so we can get to the film discussion. So let's see. So I think that's it. So yeah, so if you guys want to help support the show, you can do so a few ways. First and foremost, the best way to help support is through Patreon. Patreon.com/trickortreatradio. And you can help support for as little as $2 a month, and that $2 is going to get you. It's going to get you our exclusive Patreon episodes, and it's going to get you access to things like the blackout tapes, like full access to the Discord channel, and so much more. And we're also planning. It sounds like it's going to be a go for Labor Day weekend. We're just going to try to nail down the day that we're probably going to do our next Monsterpiece Theater Movie Club. So I'm excited about that. That's when everybody, we pick a movie, everyone goes and watches the movie, and then we have a set time for everybody to get together on Discord, and then we talk about it. It's basically like one of the film discussions on this show, but where everyone's involved, everyone who is part of the Patreon that wants to join. So we'll be doing that on Labor Day weekend. We'll give you the definitive time. Rave Chatter, why don't you tell the people? We've talked about this. Say, be right back.
What?
Say, be right back into the microphone.
I'll be right back.
All right, thank you. You message us fucking Facebook, BRB. Okay?
No matter how many times we yell at him about the people
Yeah.
needing to know he's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So that's the best way to help support the show. And there's a bunch of other tiers. You can get access to exclusive video content. And also you could have your own Patreon takeover. We had a Patreon takeover with Dane earlier this month. Dane Unda. And it was awesome talking about some of Dane's picks. We're going to be getting in touch with the person for the next Patreon takeover in hopefully we'll be doing it in September if we can time it right. So we'll be reaching out to folks to do that. And so give it a look, patreon.com/trickortreatradio. And we'll be doing our Monsterpiece Theater Movie Club in a week and a half. So keep an eye out for an announcement of when and where and what movie. All right. And also, we have the Amazon link. If you guys go to trickortreatradio.com, scroll down, look at the website, you'll see the Amazon logo. You click it, it's going to bring you to Amazon. It's going to input our affiliate link. Everything you purchase in that session, it gets attributed to us. It doesn't cost them any extra.
But it's another way to keep the toilet flushing.
Thank you, Aries. I was going to call an MZ, but then I saw you just get closer, so I was like, oh, I'll let Aries take it. Raven Shadow missed his spot. Oh, he missed the spot.
Wah, wah.
Wah, wah. Aries fucking did it like a champ. I might have Aries do it from now on.
Wow, he's been saving them up.
What do you think about them apples?
I don't like the apples at all, Aries.
We're letting you go, Raven Shadow.
Good.
Cutting the cord.
We're fixing the glitch.
Also, the final way you can help support us is on trickortreatradio.com. Click on store. We got the greatest hits of Trick or Treat Radio, volumes 1 through 3. They are $3 a pop, and we've been doing the show. We're in our 10th year. We've been doing it for 9+ years at this point. There is a whole lot of content. There's 474 weekly episodes, and then we got all the specials, all the Patreons. We're up way over 500 at this point. So we don't expect you guys to go back and listen to every single episode. But you know what? You buy the greatest hits, you get a little sampler. A little sampler. It gives you the highlights, the lowlights, the midlights, everything in between, the arguments, the interviews, the songs. It's all there, Raven Shadow. All of it.
So much.
Trying to get you involved, but
Dynamite drop.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I fucking, all right, whatever the fuck. I ain't gonna put back the curtain, but I had to like leave for a minute, and then
But-
Aries jumping in.
But what?
Spot. What?
You said you pulled back the curtain. I didn't hear what you said after that.
I said I'm not gonna peel back the curtain, but I had to leave for a minute.
Well, we know. You said be right back. That's
Right.
the thing. When you say be right back, people know you're going to go.
And when we don't hit pause on a live show,
Yeah. Would you like us to hit pause?
I'm fucking damned if I do. I'm fucking damned. I'm
I'm
trying-
sorry, I don't understand what one thing has to do with the other. You left for a minute, you came back, and then you just one word answer with that question.
What's the question?
What's the answer?
I don't know.
All right. So check out the greatest hits of Trick or Treat Radio Volume 1, 2, and 3. All right. Raven Shadow, you sit down back on the show after taking a little break. You get ready to watch the new film from Neil Blomkamp, Demonic. What do you do to prepare for this?
I was fucking getting nervous, Johnny, because, you know what I mean? There was a fucking hurricane coming in New England, you know. Hurricane Enrique, is that what it was?
Henry.
Henri.
Henri.
Oh, Henry? That was Henry.
Yeah.
No,
Henri.
it's French. Hurricane
It
Hornet.
came from France?
All right. Hurricane Surrender is coming. It was coming our way.
Hurricane Horny? Hurricane Corny?
That'd be fucking great. Dope.
Uh.
So the hurricane, we had to stand back to the hurricane coming, right? So I was working the shop on that Saturday. And as I mentioned before, there's been some flood going on, some flood shit happening because of the driveway being repaved. And the driveway looks great, aside from all the fucking water damage. So we're prepping this. So now myself and another coworker are all taking, and those who've been in the shop, there are 170 long boxes on pallets under the so basically we have Marvel and DC back issues on top, and anything not the big two are down below. So in preparation for the storm, we had to take 170 something long and short boxes and move to a secure location, which fucking A, I should be fucking built like fucking Idris Elba or The Rock, because long and short boxes are fucking heavy. I don't know why comic fans are skinny and fucking overweight, because those are heavy like a mug.
Well, they don't move them.
We got to pick them up,
And
move them to you.
In Rave Show, you got to get repetition. You got to do it like several times a week for a while to like have it actually show.
I did it one day. Why would I do it again? They are
And you
so
want to be
heavy,
fucking
Joe.
jacked?
I want to take steroids. I want.
You
I
want
wanna
to
see-
You
take?
still need to do shit if you take steroids.
Just taking
No, I
steroids
want-
isn't going to make you fucking muscular.
Yeah,
No,
you got to put a little bit of effort into it,
Yeah.
dude.
No, I want like Owlman. Give me like a pill. Give me some Miraclo.
That's different.
Super- Yeah, I just want drugs.
Just
So
want
anyway,
drugs.
I just want drugs. So anyway, so we're moving all this fucking shit. People don't give a fuck. Not self-aware. So we're doing all this. And it's fucking swayed like a motherfucker last week, Johnny. And then, so not only as we're moving into the red room, which is where like the gaming locations are, these big fucking tables, there are two motherfuckers who are going through these Playboy magazines, right? Like, because one dude sells stuff online and the other dude's buying them. So not only myself and my female coworker are going through this, and they're all like talking about the 1974 issue, like they're talking about like stats of a fantasy football league. Oh, well, you know, the hair in 74 was much more appreciated than in 1985. And I'm like, what the fuck? Meanwhile, I'm trying to move this giant Dudley Boy Devon table, like get the table down, to put more long boxes. And I'm like, bro, I'm skinny like a motherfucker. Can you give me a hand with this? Nope. Focusing on fucking the centerfold of 89. It was fucking weird, really fucking obscure. It could have been a lot worse. I'm glad the fucking Hurricane missed us, but it still sucked balls. So you better believe, before I got demonic, strapped on.
You go through your week with the same old routine.
What you really want is some blood and thunder in your life.
Well, friend, you found it.
The Cromcast is an adventurous journey through the history of two-fisted pulp stories
With your host, John,
Josh,
and Luke.
we have action.
horror.
An adventure, all through the lens of pulp luminary Robert E. Howard.
Don't just stay in your ordinary life.
Find your pulp life at thecromcast.blogspot.com.
The Cromcast,
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast!
a podcast for the barbarian at heart.
Thank you guys for having me on. It's a blast. You guys are awesome.
Thank you so much.
And, you know, Trick or Treat Radio, man. That's where it's at. That's the new Fangoria Radio is Trick or Treat Radio.
No.
Don't say that.
That's like,
You really put us under.
It's like swearing in church. Huh?
You just jinxed us.
Yeah. You put a lot on our shoulders just now.
Well, we can strive for
You
greatness.
guys are awesome.
Yeah,
you really
just
are. You
say
got a
that again
great show.
slowly.
Oh, delicious nerds. Ms. M knows you like to chat it up with other sexy shut-ins about comics, movies, video games, and your favorite TV shows. If that sounds like you, cuddle up to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group, or the FIB. That stands for Fan Interaction Board. Just go to Facebook and search for Trick or Treat Radio and have more fun than a Jedi at a lightsaber sale. Not enough? Watch us on YouTube, The Deadites TV, all one word. Last but not least, check out the world's most dangerous talk radio show, Trick or Treat Radio, at trickortreatradio.com.
Dear God, no!
We're back on Trick or Treat Radio. And it's time for our featured film discussion, and that is Demonic. Demonic is from 2021, rated R, and it is 104 minutes. To the Raven Shadows out there, that's an hour and 44 minutes. And the film is written and directed by Neil Blomkamp. And the film stars Carly Pope, Chris William Martin, Michael J. Rogers, Natalie Bolt, Terry Chen, Candice McClure, and Quentin Bosclair as the demon. And the synopsis, a young woman unleashes terrifying demons when supernatural forces at the root of a decades-old rift between mother and daughter are ruthlessly revealed. So, quick little bit about Neil Blomkamp, if you're not familiar. Most of you should be. Neil hit the scene in a big, big way. What year was that? It was in 2009, yeah. And his debut feature was District 9, which got nominated for Oscars. And, I mean, it's a hell of a way to begin your career. He also, I actually just found this out. I don't know if I forgot this or not, but apparently he was originally set to direct a Halo film that was produced by Peter Jackson, but something fell through with it. It never ended up happening. But then Peter Jackson was working with him and was able to get him the gig to do the money to do District 9, which which is pretty fucking cool to have a guy like Peter Jackson on your side.
Yeah.
At that point, 2009, Peter Jackson probably could just call someone up and be like, "Hey, I want this guy to do this thing," and people probably were like, "Yep, no problem, Peter." So, pretty cool. But District 9, have you guys all seen District 9, by the way?
Yes.
Yep. Of course.
Well, I know you have, MZ. I wasn't sure about Raven Shadow or Ares. And did you guys all dig the flick?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it's very good. Did you like the flick? Raven Shadow.
Yes, it was good.
Yes.
Good.
It was good.
Yeah,
Did you watch it in the
good.
theater, or did you watch it on Bomba Radio and watch 20 minutes of it at fucking 3 a.m.?
No, it may have been on. It probably would have been DVD, right, from the Blockbuster.
Probably. Yeah. Was Blockbuster still around then? When that would have come out, 2010 or 11?
Oh, it might have been. It might have been not Starship. Hollywood Video at those days.
I forget when did video stores go away? For the most part.
About maybe
2000.
sometime in the mid 2010s. I mean,
Well, I think they were gone by then. I think it was late aughts. But I don't know.
Say aughts.
Aughts.
It's aughts.
The aughts.
I mean, there's still one Blockbuster left, but
In Alaska.
yeah,
Yeah,
who cares-
this
who
one,
cares
yeah.
about either one? Yeah, who gives a shit about either one of those things? So, I mean, mom and pop stores just completely were obliterated by early 2000s. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
Then you got Blockbuster, Hollywood Video. You know,
and then
those pains in
and
the
then Netflix started to be a thing. I
Yeah.
think it was. I remember seeing Netflix around 2007 or 8. I remember people were sending in to get DVDs at that point in time. Because I remember people used to get them delivered at work, at the job I was at back then. So it was like 2007 or 8 probably. Yeah, and so that was probably the beginning of the end. Because then once they went streaming, then there was no reason for video stores at that point anymore.
Yeah, I mean, well, when did District 9 come out? You probably mentioned
2009. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would have seen it would have rented it in probably 2010.
Yeah. So that was one I got to see in the theater. Like, I don't remember exactly. I heard a good buzz about it. I really wanted to go see it, and I saw it like maybe the day it came out or right in the first week or something like that. But it blew me away. Like, it was probably one of the first really good. There was some decent CGI before then, but this was, to me, when it seemed like it was really good, when it was starting to get really good.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know me. I'm not a big CGI mark, but the CGI in District 9 is really fantastic, and it still holds up to this day.
Yeah.
I mean, a lesser film would have had like the mothership, the way the mothership was.
Mhm.
It just hovering in the air, with its typical CGI appearance, but Blomkamp added like haze and because it's set in South Africa, you got the sun beating down, so you got like the heat and the haze like kind of clouding it up a little bit, and it's up in the air near the clouds, so the clouds are kind of like hiding certain part, are like it's kind of like playing like
the detail was really well done.
It's like really sheeting it out. It wasn't big and vibrant. It was kind of like whited out a little bit because of the combination of the clouds and the haze from the sun. So it really gave a real genuine look to it. Plus and like you said, plus the detail that was on that ship was just fucking faboo.
Fat boo. Yeah, it's a landmark film, and it was a huge, kind of here the fuck I am for Neil Blomkamp, to just kind of like come out with that. Now apparently he's working on District 10. So that'll be interesting. I'm curious to see what he's going to do with that. But yeah, I mean, that was a big film for him, and it really kind of introduced him to the film world. And from that point on, he was able to kind of like, do what he wanted, I think, for a little while. But I think it's an interesting sort of trajectory, because he did that, and then he did Elysium, which I'm pretty sure got decent reviews. But then he did Chappie in 2015, and that one got just panned by the critics, even though it's got a good rating, like amongst fans. And have any of you guys seen Chappie?
I saw Chappie. Well, let's just say it's no District 9. I'll just leave it at that.
Well, is it worth the watch?
For me, no, not really. I didn't think it was all that hot.
It's got a good cast: Sharlto Copley, Dev Patel, Hugh Jackman, Sigourney Weaver, Ninja and Yolandi from The Antwoord. Anderson Cooper as Anderson Cooper. So it's got what's that?
No one can play him better.
Yeah, exactly. It's got a pretty robust cast. But yeah, that one just it didn't hit for a lot of people, and from what I understand, he had an Alien film in the works. He was going to do a direct sequel to Aliens, and he had Sigourney Weaver all on board. She was all about it. And then it didn't happen. And recently, while he's been promoting Demonic, actually, Neil Blomkamp says that he thinks it's after Ridley Scott watched Chappie, he decided he didn't want to have anything to do with Neil Blomkamp as a filmmaker to work on the Aliens franchise after that. So that's what he thinks. It doesn't, it's not that he knows, but Ridley Scott didn't really talk to him much after that. So he must have saw the film and just didn't like the direction it went in, and decided to, basically call it quits between them. But yeah, Chappie has a 32% tomato meter, and the audience score is 56%, which is obviously a little bit better. And the IMDb rating is 6.8 out of 10, which is pretty good. So, take it with a grain of salt. I still haven't seen it. I'd actually really like to see it. I just remember people like panning it, and I didn't end up seeing it in theaters, and I just never sought it out after that for some reason. So, but I mean, I like Neil Blomkamp as a director, and after Chappie, that unfortunately, I don't know. I think it really changed people's outlook on him as a director, not just from Ridley, but after that, he just worked on shorts. He did a whole string of shorts for his own company, which they were all really impressive looking and really awesome. I didn't see all of them, but I saw a few of them, and they were really fucking cool. Did you guys see any of the shorts that he did?
Nope.
Okay. Cool. It's cool stuff. And so he did shorts for like 3-4 years, and then he finally wanted to get back in the film game, and then he did Demonic. And he did this during the pandemic, and he wanted to do basically a small film. He wanted to do something that he could do during the pandemic that wasn't too big and epic and kind of on a smaller budget. And so he had this idea, a much larger idea that involved the Vatican using technology and weapons to fight demons. So my guess is, think of Demonic, or I'm sorry, think of Demonic, think of District 9, and think about how like that was like a huge world building. Like the world building was enormous, right, of what he did. Or I mean, even though it was one area of the world, it felt like it was a much larger picture and what was going on in the world. So, but he had this big idea to utilize the Vatican as like demon hunters that were fucking well trained, like try to think of the
Like a strike force, essentially. What I
exactly
like the colonial marines,
Yeah.
from Aliens.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
So, so I wonder how much we can talk about this movie, or how much we all agree to discuss about this, because I completely forgot that this was a Neil Blomhouse.
Blomhouse?
Blomhouse.
Blomkamp.
Neil Blomkamp. What's his name?
Neil Blomkamp.
Just call him Neil.
Neil.
Yeah, please.
Or
Neil,
NB.
NB. All right, fair. So I completely forgot that. I know you mentioned this in the previous episode, like, oh, it's this new joint by NB. But watching it, we just, press played. So I didn't see it like that. And so I'm not trying to be a dick when I say this. I'm not. And much
But you're going to be.
And maybe it might come off like that way, but like, I haven't watched this picture and the scenes. Once it gets to some certain nighttime driving scenes, I'm like, there's some interesting choices, but this is probably a first-time director. So once again, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but like, I didn't know it was his work.
Well, it doesn't. I mean, it's an interesting viewpoint to view it from, though, because for me, I was looking at it as, okay, this is the dude from District 9. So I think it's an interesting sort of dichotomy to be able to kind of compare your experience watching it like that,
I mean, I'm just having trouble understanding what you're talking. Are you having trouble with the camera shots?
No, but it looked very indie to me.
And it was. He did intend to make an indie horror film.
None of that is a dig. I just didn't know that a established creator had worked on it, so I just wasn't thinking of it that way. Some of the driving choices at night I thought were a little bit. It's not a criticism. It just I just thought it was okay. Maybe he's focusing on certain things more than maybe some other directors would. I just saw it as what it was.
So it is the camera shots you're talking about then?
Maybe, I guess. Yeah, I guess maybe.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's what you're criticizing, and you are criticizing.
I'm not criticizing.
And it's not a bad thing. This is.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with criticizing a movie.
Yeah.
That's what we're here to do.
He made an amazing film, but that doesn't mean that we can't talk about what we like and dislike,
Yeah, I thought it was really. I don't want to say disjointed, but it just seemed some odd choices as a viewer.
Well, the thing we were talking about, too, is because this was a much larger story and he distilled it down into a relatively small one that he could do during the pandemic, that is valid, I think, that maybe he had this much larger idea and he struggled with breaking it down into a smaller thing. That's a valid critique if that's what how you want to look at it.
I mean, I definitely got the feeling that this could have been a much larger universe. And hearing what you said about having to dial it back because of the pandemic makes a lot of sense to me. And I could actually see other stories branching out from this, either prequels or sequels, and tying into this whole world. And because he did create a little bit of a world here.
Yeah, it does feel very separate from the rest of the world. It does feel like it's its own entity, like almost like a Twilight Zone episode in a way, or Night, or something from Night Gallery, or Amazing Stories. Probably Amazing Stories would probably fit it best.
I would go with the Amazing Stories thing, and that it is. I mean, it is very focused, but you definitely get the feeling that the outside world is there.
Yeah. yeah, I could definitely see what he was trying to do here, as far as creating this encompassed world.
And one thing that Neil Blomkamp has always been interested in, as far as I'm aware, is technology. Like, he's very much into technology. And looking at this, I thought that there was some pretty cool stuff that he did in this.
Yeah.
Now, I did, in the credits, I saw that Unity was credited, and Unity is a video game engine. So I'm guessing a lot of the stuff was rendered in a video game engine that we see in this kind of virtual reality world. So that was cool. I think it in a sense kind of looked like either like The Sims or like an isometric video game, where they were showing some of the stuff.
Yeah. I was thinking The Sims too. I was waiting for the diamond to show up over her head.
Yeah.
Or something,
Which, I think I felt like it was kind of a cool way to approach things, and it didn't overstay its welcome as far as I was concerned. If half the movie took place in that, I could see it being like, all right, man, like this is a little too much, But I feel like it walked that line pretty well. Like, we got to see the technology, we got to see a couple of cool segments in the virtual reality, and then it kind of like was like, okay, well, we're gonna leave it there, and then it sort of expanded out from there.
Yeah. What I liked about that virtual reality area was that it wasn't perfect. You could see pixels, you could see some fuzziness, some areas weren't rendered correctly, and some glitching. So it wasn't a perfect setup, which was completely deliberate. If you made it deliberate, it would look too fancy, too polished. The fact that this virtual reality had these glitches and these problems, albeit minor and not having anything to do with the story, mind you, added a certain sense of realism to a fake world.
I think it added to the realism. Sorry, Aries, let me cut you off.
Go.
It wasn't the holodeck. It wasn't the danger room, but it was technology that made sense in this world. And I think they were almost like, right? Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you think now of virtual reality, like, you can strap on a fucking headset and go into virtual reality and see these like completely rendered worlds that are really realistic looking. Now, this one was completely realistic looking, but we're also in someone's memory that was being digitized. So that's what I thought was really cool about it, is because it was someone's memory digitized. That's why he put that treatment on it, to make it look like there was some like pixels missing, and it was kind of rendering as she was walking in a sense, like I thought that stuff was pretty well executed, So that's just one aspect of this, like, for people who haven't seen it yet and maybe don't care about watching it, the basic premise is, well, actually, before we get to that, I had a page open. I wanted to call out one of the actors, Michael Rogers, who played the character of Michael, who was kind of the bearded, kind of asshole doctor. I recognized him, and I was like, where the fuck do I know this guy from? He was Barry Nile from Beyond the Black Rainbow, if you guys remember that.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay.
So, that I fucking, obviously you guys know I fucking love that movie. I think some of us did. And I was really excited to see him in this. So that was cool. He played kind of a similar role, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't seen Beyond the Black Rainbow in years, but I'm pretty sure he played a kind of a similar role. So that was cool. And I'm not familiar with the other actors, although Terry Chen, Ravenshine, when did he get out?
Yeah, right.
He was fucking jacked, huh?
He got cut. He was like fucking Joel Kinnaman and SWAT, man. They must have been the same fucking cell block.
Yeah, I thought he was awesome at this, though. Like, he had a relatively small role, but I feel like his character was like the conscience of this experiment, and I could feel like I like the duality between him and the Michael character, because you could tell one was kind of pushing buttons and he was trying to stay with like, hey, let's kind of take care of her in the experiment. I thought that played off really well, the dichotomy between those two.
100%. I do want Aries to jump in on what he was going to say earlier, but I feel that we're a little all over the place. So, Aries, I want you. You just something you wanted to say?
Don't. I'm all set. Continue on talking.
Okay. I'm interested in that.
If I needed to say it, I would have said it. Go ahead.
All right, I guess I'll go fuck myself. All right, back to you, Johnny.
Well, let's just keep passing around. Back to you, MZ. Jeez.
Yeah, what do you think?
No, but yeah. So I like those two characters, but Carly was played by Carly Pope, who looked familiar to me, but she was in Elysium. She was just like an agent in that, but I don't know. I don't really think I've seen anything else from her, so maybe she's not all that familiar to me. Oh, she played she was in Arrow, apparently. Raven Chow. Did you recognize her from that? She played a character named Susan Williams in Arrow.
I don't like. I apparently I stopped watching Arrow when it got good.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember. Did you watch it, Aries?
I watched a few seasons. That character name doesn't sound familiar, but there were characters that only appeared for 2 or 3 episodes and they were gone.
She was in quite a few. She was in 10 episodes. So in 2017, she was in it. So that was definitely after I stopped watching. So
I think that was after me too.
Okay. Well, anyways, the basic premise is we have Carly here, who is estranged from her mother, who turns out killed a whole bunch of people, and she's been in prison, and Carly hasn't talked to her in 20 years or something like that. And so Martin reaches out to Carly because he was recently contacted for like this by this hospital to do some sort of like test. And then he said, hey, Carly, they're going to be looking for you, something about your mom. Kind of at this point, it's kind of like a little fuzzy about what's going on. But she does dream about her mom like every night. Like she has some trauma associated with this because her mom did some deplorable shit, like burned like an old age home, was it? Like or something?
It's kind of a care home, a home for a caregiver home.
Yeah, where 20 people burnt and died.
Yeah, and so she's seeing visions, and even she's like, they're gonna know you, they're gonna find out that you changed your name, they're gonna come for you. So obviously, if she's like, she's like Carly Dama, she changed her name to Carly. You know what I'm saying? Like that's or like Carly Gacy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what you change your name to.
Yeah. No. I'm saying fucking A. But if you're pick your serial killer, but like you change it.
MZ, if you had to pick a serial killer last name to change, what would it be?
Oh,
if you were going on the lam and you were going to change your last name, which one did you pick?
Dahmer with an O.
Dahmer with an O. No, it's not the same as that guy.
That's the opposite of what I'm saying.
What's your name? Monster Dahmer.
Dahmer Zero.
Dahmer Zero. So she's having visions of her mom in dreams, and she's pretty fucking freaked out. And then so she goes to check out this. She gets a call from the hospital. What was it? Do you guys remember the name of it by any chance? It was like
oh god damn it.
Fuck, I forget the name of it.
It began with a T.
Yeah, Teflon. I don't know. I don't forget the name of it, but
telephonic, telephone, teleQ.
On the telephone? What did boy be talking about?
The telephone.
The telephone, man.
Oh shit. Yeah, I forget the name of it, but
teleQ.
But regardless, it it was a privately funded thing, so it seemed a little like, dubious. Like it was a little like, what kind of place is this? And they go there and they explain, hey, your mom's been selected to be in this program. She's in a coma. She's been in a coma for a while. And then they show her. You see her mom has like cuts all over her fucking arms. Like she is destroyed. Like literally, like her face is fucked up. Like she's looking rough. And she's been through some shit, obviously. So Carly agrees. She gets her picture taken in a T-pose, which I think is kind of cool because in game animation, that's typically the default pose. Like every character starts in a T-pose, and then they pose them from there. So they definitely knew what they were talking about in this, and from there, it's cool because Carly was essentially being like animated. Like they took a T-pose of her and then they animate. Yeah, go ahead, Raven Shadow.
Can I add in to give some proper context? So, they're dealing with like catatonic patients, and this is somebody so she essentially, all her awareness is there, but she cannot express herself. So they say this technology has been developed where they can do this weird kind of video game, avatar, a simulation, whatever you want to call it, first person, whatever the fuck. They can actually speak to each other. So somebody can go from being catatonic and bedridden to a real person, and they can kind of live in this like sim world.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the terms are. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it's a good way of putting it. It's a simulated world based on their memories. So in essence, they're farming her memories to create a virtual reality in which Carly can go into and and speak to her mom. So in essence, she's in her head. She's in a construction of what her memories are. So it's kind of a cool concept. And so this company has sort of nefarious plans. We won't say too much more about them. We'll kind of keep that up to up to the viewer. But they have plans for this. There's more than meets the eye to what's going on. And so Carly is kind of put off by what happens in this first time, but she goes into the simulation to basically tell her mom off, like fucking yells at her mom because of what she did and what she did to her life. And it was kind of cathartic for her in a sense. That's actually why she agreed to do it. Like she didn't really give a shit. She just wanted to tell her mom off in essence. So I thought that was, that made sense. I thought that was a good sort of motivation. And then they wanted her to come back, and she was like, "Yeah, no, I'm kind of done. I'm okay with this." But they did convince her to go back, and then when she went back, she found out like a little bit more about what's going on, and she wanted to leave the simulation, and she could leave the simulation at any time. She just has to say, "Pull me out," and they pull her out. But this time around, they didn't really pull her out. They kind of left her hanging a little bit too long. And so she got, maybe a little kind of PTSD. She was kind of hit with some shit that she didn't want to deal with. And then she was pretty fucking pissed about it when she was questioned afterwards, because they do like a little video testimonial about what happened, things like that. But then she did eventually divulge the information of what she learned and stuff like that. So, and that was kind of enough, I think, for what they were looking for. And at this point, now Carly's dreams have been kind of now seeping into her reality. And I think that's a good place to kind of like leave it for the plot, because that's when other shit starts to happen. And she now goes and talks to her friend Martin. And Martin has been seeing things for the last several years, and they're kind of comparing notes and stuff like that. I will say there is a monster in this. I won't say too much about it, but I wanted to talk about the design real quick. I thought the design was really fucking cool, and it was practical effects as well. I heard Neil got a concept artist to draw it out, and then he sent it over, got it all made up. And what they did was when they actually in some scenes digitized the monster. So they actually filmed in front of the camera, the practical part, and then digitize it later. So it was almost like the opposite of CGI, which I thought was kind of fucking awesome. So what'd you guys think of the monster?
It was all right. I wasn't totally blown away with it, though.
No.
I mean, I think a lot of it had to do with darkness and shadow and seeing just a minimal amount. But I feel like when we got to a point where, well, for myself anyway, that I got to a point where I got a pretty good idea what this thing looks like, I was kind of underwhelmed by it.
The monster.
Now the sound effects, yeah. Now the sound effects that they used for this creature was pretty good, and I suppose it fit the character, but the overall appearance of the character itself, I was a bit underwhelmed with it.
One thing I want to add to that before Erich jumps in is apparently the way Neil Blomkamp got the inspiration for this monster was after the pandemic started. He was looking up the old plague masks because he was looking at sort of other like plagues and pandemics and things like that, and that's kind of what inspired the look of it. I won't say too much more because we'll leave it up to the viewer if you haven't seen it to kind of like go in and see it fresh, I think. But I think it's cool that inspired the look of it, and I think that definitely came across. And he went in a slightly different direction, but that was the initial inspiration for it. Oh, and Double D says it was called Therapole. Yes, thank you, Double D.
I love the look of this monster. I thought it was 100% unique.
Me too. Yeah.
Unlike anything we've ever seen before, and I can definitely see the pandemic doctor in this monster. It almost looks like something that a child would have drawn back in the day when the pandemic doctor would come to visit. Like that was their monster. Like that was, what would terrify them at night. That was their boogeyman. And that's it didn't 100% occur to me until you just said it, Wolfie. But that is the feeling of this monster is what I get from it.
Yeah. Hey, Ravenshaw, how about you? It's reminiscent of your name.
Yeah, no, I mean, I ain't seen that check yet, but no, it had a great design. I was definitely on board with of the creature.
Cool. Yeah, I dug it, and I think they could have shown it more. Like I feel like we only got it in snippets, but it's one of those things where you get to see it in the darkness. I think it's the right usage of it. I think we talked about this when we talked about the movie The Void, where that was all practical. It's just the right amount. They didn't overdo it so you see the creature too much, and they didn't underdo it where it was completely dark where you couldn't make it out. I think that, honestly, I guess I could have would have chosen to see a little bit more of it, but I think that they struck the right balance because they didn't overexpose this practical effects monster. I think it was ended up being a really cool vibe to it.
And you know what I mean? I'm, going to kind of agree with you here because you wanted more. I think it was that perfect amount.
Yep.
Because it just left you wanting more. And to kind of piggyback on that, when you were talking about the AI aspect of it, I wanted more of that in the movie. And because they didn't give us more, I feel like that was as we talk about this, things pop into my head. And that was one of the things I didn't like about this because I wanted more of that, but always leave the audience wanting more is the right amount. And I think, with the AI and with this monster, they hit the nail on the head there because we wanted more.
Yeah.
And if it was overdone, it would have ruined this movie. And as we talk about this is becoming more and more aware to me that they've done things intentional and to the perfect amount with the monster and with the AI and with a lot of other things, wanting more from this movie and from this universe.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And yeah, I would always rather be left wanting more than being like, oh, that was too much. Like, you showed it too much or overdid it. So I think that is certainly better to err on that side of things than the other. So yeah, I agree with that. All that being said, I think there's a lot that I did like about this movie. At the end of the day, though, this didn't, and this is why I think it's interesting that Raven Shadow saw this without, remembering that it was a Neil Blomkamp film, because at the end of the day, I think this is a little disappointing for me, knowing who directed it. And I understand he had a much larger idea that got distilled down to like one small horror story. But the thing I did like about this was, as you're saying, Aries, it left me wanting more, and knowing that there's like, you got a little glimpse of this world that he created with this kind of Black Ops sort of thing, and it was like, whoa, okay, so now it's this small story about a mom and her daughter that now all of a sudden is like a much greater thing. And it's like, oh shit, I want to know more about this organization, And so once again, it left me wanting more. And that is absolutely a good thing. But I think that there was some missteps along the way, because I feel like maybe it lost sight of the original goal, or the original where it set out to be with the initial story between the mom and the daughter. I feel like at the end, maybe it lost a little bit of that and got into and because it was this sort of bigger thing going on, it kind of didn't give enough justice to that story. Go ahead, Raven Shadow.
No, I would agree. I mean, there's kind of three things going on in this picture, right? So you have, at first, a demonic possession, right? Demonic possession kind of thing. And then it gets into a weird, for lack of a better term, Avatar, Scanner Darkly type kind of thing. And that's not an exact apples to apples comparison, but another kind of weird, digitized world. And then it has a little bit of, I made the Aliens reference, but maybe John Carpenter's vampires might have more of be more apropos to kind of what's going on. And there's one character who is fucking right about everything. But God damn it, Carly, she ain't fucking listening.
Yeah. Yeah.
It fucking nails everything on the head. But nope, I'm gonna go there anyway. So and yes, and I was super excited by that third act. I'm like, oh shit, business is about to pick up. And yes, so yes, if you can only do what you can film, respect. You film what you got. But goddamn, this is a bigger story than a possession. I love flicks that do this, that take the shade shit that we've seen before and then add some other shit to make it relevant. Yeah. I want more. I do. I want another half an hour and bigger budget, maybe.
Timestamp that. Raven Shadow wants a longer movie.
That is, yeah. That's a surprise. If it was 30 minutes longer, Raven Shadow, you would have had to take 2 more breaks while watching it.
I will finish it today.
Yeah, I think the third act kind of suffers quite a bit. I mean, it's got a really decent story. It's original.
Yeah.
some of its special effects add to that originality. But things were picking up in the second act. But when we get to the third act, where I feel like things are really going to start picking up, I just feel like it falls apart. There's avenues that this third act takes that I was not totally on board with.
Well, the problem is they didn't pick a direction. They tried to focus on too many things.
Yeah. I feel like if they had just stuck with the mom and the daughter, I think we would have a much better film here. It just too many fingers in the pie, I think the term is. But too many things going on.
There weren't. Well, okay, I get what you're saying. You're not, because I was going to say there's only one finger in the pie. This is all Neil Blomkamp, but I think what you mean is there's too much going on.
That's exactly.
Yeah, there was no direction at the end of the movie. They was trying to sum up too much at the end with rather focus on one thing.
Yeah, it was just too much. Too much.
Honestly, I feel and I can't blame Neil Blomkamp for the way that he did this, because he had this much larger idea that he distilled down. But I think if that larger idea of this sort of like Vatican group was like almost like not a twist, but like a reveal at the end, when like, you know, like I think that would have had more effect, and because then we get a bookend for Carly and her mom's story, and then it kind of like goes down this other path where it's like, okay, but the rabbit hole goes a lot further than we even thought. I think that might have been a better way than, because it was a personal story that became impersonal towards the end.
It became global. It was a personal tragedy that became a global event.
The Vatican becoming part of it should not have happened when it did. It should have happened later on.
Yeah, if that was a reveal at the like right near the very end or something like that, I think that would have really been like, oh shit, because it would have bookended the story of Carly and her mom, and then have opened up this whole other avenue, you know. But
yeah, I'll agree with that. Yeah,
yeah. All that said, I think if anything, it might have complicated the plot a little bit, and it did take away from the personal story that was being told. And I feel also that one of the other characters, we haven't really even brought her up, Sam, the friend, like I feel like she was just like how do I say without spoiling too much, like fodder. Like she wasn't like, I don't know, when that character's story comes to an end, like I didn't feel that was a fitting ending for that. It just like, it was almost like you could have like blinked and missed it in a sense, you know?
Yeah, I kind of was just like, huh, you know, there was no punch to it. There should have been a punch to it.
Yeah, it was kind of laid low. It was rather underwhelming.
Because Carly was concerned about her friend, like throughout the first third, or maybe in the first half of the film, she was concerned, and that drove a lot of the actions of her actions, was concern for her friend. And then I feel like the end was just like, it just kind of was like, just went out with a whimper, and we didn't really get a good closure to that story thread, I guess.
Especially since her character in the second act was really picking up steam and really getting interesting and really getting good. And then you get this third act part with her, and it's like jumping off a cliff. It just okay. Well,
yeah,
that kind of sucked, you know.
And I think some of that comes from telling this personal story, and as we talked about how it gets global, it gets in much bigger. At that point, the details don't matter as much because now we're in a much bigger story here where the details of this personal story don't matter quite as much. So I do think that was a misstep, and I think it would have been really cool to have a reveal at the end after the story was kind of bookended. Maybe one of the characters from Therapole, maybe there's something with them at the end or something. I don't know. I don't want to give anything away or spoil anything either, so I'm not gonna say which characters or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I think that there is some left on the table here. There is some stuff left on the table, and because it moved in a direction which made the story much bigger, I feel like there was some stuff that got bypassed or kind of like glossed over a little more quickly than it should have. Dane just popped in. He's checking in. He says, "Hey everyone, I can't stay. Got to go back to work if I feel well enough. Just watched a bit on YouTube on my lunch break. I'm feeling very nauseous because I just saw MZ's feet while eating my lunch. This means war." Dane's gonna have to fucking leave work because he's sick now after seeing your feet. Oh my god!
I'm like the coronavirus. I'm making sick all over the world.
Jesus Christ, that's true. made people sick in Alabama, in fucking Australia, Maryland.
Dane, focus your attacks all on MZ. We had nothing to do with it. We didn't encourage it. It's all MZ.
It's true. We never asked for him to show his fucking ugly ass feet. His fucking orangutan feet, hobbit feet.
Or
fuck you, dickhead! I don't have hobbit.
You got hobbit feet without the hair.
Oh, thanks. That makes it so much better.
It does. It makes it a little better.
You're a smooth hobbit.
Smooth. It's
like a smooth criminal.
Yeah, like a smooth criminal.
Can you picture Bilbo
Baggins
doing the whole
lean?
lean
Yeah.
he would be like Dorf on golf, you know.
Frodo, are you okay? Are you okay, Frodo? Frodo, are you okay? Okay, Frodo.
Oh God, you've been hit by a smooth hobbit.
Well, that was just dumb.
Bro.
Oh God damn. So Dane says Pandemic 2.0. All right, so I think we've had some pretty good discussion about this flick. I want to start to wrap things up. Was there anything else you guys wanted to bring up about this before we wrap up?
Not really.
All right, so let's go to the verdict.
Trick or treat, baby. I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, it is verdict time. We're going to let you know whether demonic was a trick or a treat, and any final thoughts we may have, starting with Monster Zero.
Got a lot of promise here, especially in that first act where you got some really interesting virtual reality shots. Excellent work on that, by the way. Very good, very realistic for a virtual reality world. And you guys are right. It only just showed just a certain amount. They didn't blow their load on it, and they held it back and just the scenes that was important. Excellent work. The second stage of the movie was really starting to get interesting. Picking things up. Some character development. Some really good stuff going on. The third act killed it. It fell apart like Kathleen Kinmont in Bride of Reanimator. It just completely fell apart on me. I just felt like it didn't. That Blomkamp didn't know what was going on. He didn't know what to do. Too much going on at one time, and I think if it just kept Carly and her mother in that, just kept that story going, then I think we could have had a much better film. You guys talked about how it was supposed to be a much bigger film, and we discussed that there could be prequels and sequels, and I'm all for that. Anything to make this story make a little bit more sense and have it a little bit more rounded out than what we got. By the way, in that second act, the second time that Carly goes back into virtual reality, and there were some really keen camera angles going on here. Some really good camera work. I was impressed. It was really cool, man. But the third act really cripples this film. The performances are good. There's a lot to like here, but that third act just really kills this movie for me. And I hate saying that because I dig Blomkamp. And I haven't seen Elysium, but out of his 4 films, 2 of them I'm not too keen on, and this is one of them. This is going to be a minor trick, but hopefully maybe with some sequels or prequels, maybe we can get this mess of an ending sorted out a little bit. But as of right now, for me, this is a minor trick.
All right, trick or minor trick, Ramsey. Let's go to Aries.
I don't know. This movie had a lot going for it. It would definitely, he was going. He's done big blockbuster movies, and this was definitely a smaller scale. And a lot of that was due to the pandemic, and I think that helped and hurt him in a lot of ways, because I definitely think he kind of is more of a small director, not small director. Although he does well with the big budgets, I think he could really exceed with smaller budgets and more storytelling. And I think the pandemic hurt him with this, because the first 2/3 of this movie were outstanding. The last act of this movie fell apart. It wasn't awful. He just tried to do too much at the end, and I think he was just trying to fill in the voids of a large movie that he had in his head with this small scale movie. And I think he is probably going to make more movies based on this. I'm actually hoping for it, because there's so much to this that it can explore so much into this world. But check this movie out, because you'll regret not being in on this world at the ground level. This is going to be a bragging point that you knew about this movie from the start. So check this movie out. This movie is a treat.
All right, Raven Shadow.
All right, so Star Wars: A New Hope was the happy act, right? I'll answer for everybody. Yes, it was. It was a happy accident. Joe Lucas had
Joe Lucas.
Joey Lucas. George Lucas had a whole bunch of fucking ideas. No fucking idea what to fucking do. He wanted to make fucking Flash Gordon, whatever the fuck. Not a good director, but a good editor. Monster Zero, keep your fucking on. And with the wind's back. But somehow put it together, it became a cohesive narrative. So I think, while it's not a like-to-like, apples-to-apples comparison, NB had a larger vision for this movie. And right, wrong, or indifferent, you can't plan for a pandemic. You can't plan for whatever. But it seems like he had a window. This is when you can shoot it. This is when you can make it. And maybe he made some adjustments. While I was not there on any of the discussions or on set,
you weren't?
Seems,
you should have.
I wasn't.
You were on the call sheet.
No one called me. It came up as probably spam.
They called you old landline at your parents' house.
It's true. Hello.
Knock it off.
Knock it off. Yeah, it's good. Good. Calling for you again. I'm not here, Mom. But no, I think what I can only surmise from our conversation and what we discussed was that he cherry picked the high spots that he wanted to hit, right? And I think he did that. Once again, it starts out as a possession that became some weird technology, and then you bring in the troops. And once again, if you believe in God, which I don't, and even though I've been there, I have no love for the Vatican. I've been there, but I think that because when in Rome, what are you gonna do? You got to go there in the bathhouses, right? But I like the idea of a black ops team doing some shit. I wish this dude had more time. I wish there wasn't a pandemic. I wish he had more money because I think this really would have been fleshed out. Working with what he had, what we got, I still feel upon first watch, might have been a tepid treat. But you know what? Hey, good for you, NB. I'd give you a treat, brother. And I wish we could see something larger. And I'm down for your next stuff, but check it out. And shit. The ending, did anybody get Paul Rubin?
What? Did anyone get Paul Rubin?
There was a Paul Rubens in the cinematic Buffy the Vampire movie that reminded me of.
Are you making reference to the greatest death scene in cinematic history?
Yes, I am.
I did not get that in this movie at all.
We will talk offline.
Oh, lucky you.
Yeah.
Oh, you're stuck with this too, MZ. We're talking about this right now, right after the show.
I will. But no, man, fuck. The dude, once again, the Ares was in this movie, by the way.
I was not.
You were. Yes, you were. He wished he was Ares. There was a character that wished he was Ares and was right about everything. And Carly should have recognized it.
All right, just because I'm right about everything doesn't mean I'm this character.
No, he wished he was you. I'm putting you over. You're that character.
All right, they just cut him. Go. You're you, Wolfie.
Treat.
Fucking kidding.
Yeah, you already said that.
All right. So this film is gonna end up being a treat for me. Because I think that there were some cool concepts here. I liked the greater idea, the concept of what he was going for. But as I stated, I feel that the personal story that he started telling at the beginning got lost as the scope of the film expanded. And I would have liked to have seen a more fitting ending to what the story they were telling before getting into this kind of bigger realm. So that to me is a bit of a misstep, but there's a lot to like here, as you guys have pointed out. I really dug a lot of the way, like the idea of this virtual reality where you can go into someone's memories. That actually seems believable to me, especially given the technology we have. So that didn't seem too far-fetched. I like a lot of what's presented in this film. And I do really enjoy Neil Blomkamp as a director, and I like that he takes risks. I like that he did a film like Chappie, it's you got to be bold, as I know we mentioned Peter Jackson earlier because he funded or at least produced District 9, Neil's first film, but I think the thing we talk about with Peter Jackson is he stopped taking risks. Like he plays it safe now. It seems like, I know MZ, you have a lot of thoughts on this, but, and don't get me wrong. I really enjoy the Lord of the Rings films personally, but I would take old Peter Jackson over, a Hobbit any day of the week. So, because anyone, I think other directors could have told those stories. Peter Jackson added a nice touch with his experience with practical effects and monsters and things like that. I think he probably did it better than a lot of other people could, but I still feel like those are films that could be made by someone else. But regardless, yeah, I did enjoy a lot of the ideas and the concepts in this, and I really would have liked to have seen this as two different movies, where I think what I mentioned earlier is if we had a satisfying end to the personal story being told between Carly and her mom, and then we find out that this is like even if it's like, this may be so totally lame, but even if like a book closes and it shows like sort of like a write-up of what happened, and then you see like a cross on it, and then you pan out and then you see someone like locking up like guns or something like that in like a fucking armory, and then you pull out even further and then it's the Vatican. It'd be like, oh fuck, okay, that's kind of crazy, right? So something like that I think would have been preferred for this, but once again, that's just my, that's my thought on it. I would have liked to have seen a more personal story told and then give that big reveal at the end, as opposed to working it into the third act, which really kind of convoluted what things that were going on, and it lessened the impact of what was going on. So for me, that's where the misstep took place. But overall, I did enjoy a lot about this movie. I like Neil Blomkamp. I like the way he approaches technology. I like that he uses practical effects. And I do hope that he gets back to making bigger films, because it's cool to see him on making something like this, but I would love to see him obviously he's going to be doing District 10 supposedly. So that is an opportunity for him to get back to a familiar world and to do something that he, feels very passionate about, his own stories. Because he said that after the whole snafu with Alien, he said he doesn't want to work on anyone's properties ever again. He wants to just do original stuff or his own stuff. So I can understand that. He got 2-3 years deep into Alien, his Alien movie, and then it got the rug pulled out from under him. So I can't say I blame him at all. So, all right. Well, that is gonna do it. We got mostly treats. MZ gave it a what was it? Barely a trick, or not barely?
A
minor trick. So, overall, some cool stuff going on here. It's definitely an original concept for Possession. So I think if you like Possession and you like Neil Blomkamp, or you just want to see kind of a different take, then give it a look. It's available on VOD from IFC Midnight, and you can find it on any of those VOD services. Evil Corny says, "Cut Raven Shadow's mic. How dare he diss George Lucas?"
I wasn't dissing George Lucas, bro.
Well, Corny thinks you are.
Well, Corny's wrong. Okay, it's probably too hot.
Wow.
Timestamp.
It's not like that. Yeah, Corny's wrong. Like, once again, it was a fucking Modge Podge or whatever the fuck.
Modge Podge.
Yeah. Read the film Skywalking by George Lucas that came out in 92-94. He admits he's not a good fucking director. He's a really good editor. Star Wars.
Yeah, but he
didn't
edit Star Wars. His wife did, and she saved it.
Well, who the fuck? They're married. They're a team. Okay. No. Well, read the fuck. I read the book. Whoever read the book, raise their hand. Okay, I'll wait.
Read what book? You got to give us the fucking name of the book.
The one I just said, Skywalking by George Lucas. That came out. I read it in high school. It came out in.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
You said 94 and 96.
Which is the last time Aries read anything. But I have it in the other room. So once again, he's not a great director. George Lucas is not a great director. He will admit that. He's a great idea guy, but he's good at editing. And he edited that Modge Podge. We've seen that nonsense of fucking American Graffiti in space when we had the 20 minutes of Luke and his friends at Tashi Station. That's fucking riveting. But once again, he cut the movie to film a certain narrative, and it was a happy accident.
Didn't Wolfie just say he didn't edit it? His wife did?
Yeah, his edit was a mess, and they weren't going to release it. And then his wife went in, edited it, and it was a completely different picture.
Okay, well, that's awesome, and I guess that's different than the book that was written. So
maybe he wrote the book and rewrote history.
Well, whatever the fuck. Suck my cock, okay?
Whoa,
Anyway,
whoa. Is that from? Are you directing that to me?
Or you or Aries, who are just trying to be naysaying to naysaying.
No,
Anyway,
Whoa!
we're
You
telling
can't.
you
You
the
can't get
truth.
upset.
Yeah.
You can't get upset if someone disproves what you're saying.
I'll get the book. I'll get the fucking book.
Get the book.
Oh.
Raven Shadow, get the book. He's gonna look for the fucking entry.
He's gonna come back with a book the size of the Bible.
Yeah,
He's gonna spend 15 minutes thumbing through it.
You see what you guys cause?
What do we cause?
Well, what did we cause? Really?
Yeah, what do we cause?
You can't figure it out.
Tell
Because
me.
now he's got to go get his stupid fucking book, which he doesn't have.
He's smiling.
That's a pretty small book.
Yeah, where'd the book go?
So it's downstairs. I'm not going to
You
show. Whatever the fuck. Whatever the fuck. Once again, you have a March podge of ideas. You're trying to put them together and make it work. So, regardless of who was the editor, okay, whether it was wife or Lucas, whatever the fuck, it became something that shouldn't have been, right? All the fucking people who like auditioned for this picture was fucking nonsense, right? So once again, I'm saying, and maybe you know, if you don't understand the terms, it's not an exact comparison. You understand the Aries? It's
wow.
So Aries, it's not a tractor.
Hey, motherfucker.
Aries, it's not
Your balls better start shrinking. I'm going to see you in 2 days.
Okay, fair. Hopefully you'll forget. Shit. Let's go to commercial. But right, it's not a tractor to tractor comparison or a flannel to flannel comparison. Does that make some more sense? What I'm trying to say is that you have a happy accident of stuff. We all like the same fucking shit. Don't be upset. Give me a hug and a kiss.
Speak up. No one can hear you.
Give me a hug and a kiss.
Did you say give me hard?
No.
Give me a hug and a kiss, he said.
Give me a hug. Don't project.
Don't project. You're fucking mumbling.
Just hug me. Touch me. All right, that's weird. What I'm trying to say is like, sometimes there are happy accidents, right? There are happy accidents when shit fucking happens. And I think NB, I'm not sure I can pronounce his last name, and something there. And I think I would love to see more of that.
I don't even remember how this started.
I don't know either. I think that's just all. We got voicemails, Johnny, right?
Yes, we do.
Can we all agree to fuck with MZ?
When he says stupid shit, sure.
I love how he's just staying quiet. Like he's like, no one's picking on me. I'm keeping my mouth shut.
Yeah.
The only way to go, man.
Yeah. No denial there. Here you go.
All right. So I'm trying to get the next week's movie. I got a cool one here, I think, that we should do. Just double checking to see if it's available, and it is. It is available to rent on, as of now, looks like Amazon. So I've verified that this is available right now. And the name of the film is The Last Matinee. I think MZ's gonna like this one. The Last Matinee, and it is directed by Maximiliano Contenti. Raven Chow, is that what do you think of that name? Is that a good name?
Yeah, it's a great Maximilian Caliente.
Caliente. It is sorry, Aries. It's from Uruguay.
Yeah. Subtitle like a motherfucker.
Raven Shadow, where's Uruguay?
Oh boy.
Yeah, so zip your fucking lip.
So The Last Matinee, Directed by Maximiliano Contenti. It's a soaking wet day with rain pouring down, and one of the best things to do is to go seek refuge in a great old cinema. There's just one problem. A murderer is on the loose, and he also has taken refuge there.
Oh.
So this one here is, it looks like it is, MZ's going to like this here, kind of an ode to Dario Argento. It's a retro horror film, and it's a small budget indie flick from Uruguay, and it sounds like there is a lot of I'm reading one quick review here. You know what the funny thing is? The reason I looked at this film is because on Amazon there's a review from somebody with the username Monster0NJ.
Really?
So I was like, what? I was like, is that MZ? I'm like, no, that can't be. It says it's a fun and gory homage to all things Argento. South American horror finds this young student, Anna, working the night shift at a rundown movie theater where she and her father are the projectionists. So this sounds cool. It sounds like it has a lot of things that we might dig. And there's a couple other flicks coming out in a couple weeks that I'm looking forward to. So I wanted to. We may not have gotten to this if we waited. So I wanted to get this one in. It looks like it could be pretty cool. So we'll be doing The Last Matinee. It is available on VOD. All right. So let's see what we got here for voice messages. You know what? Why don't we go down under and check in with Tim from Melbourne. Tim Chuma. And let's see what Tim's got going on this week.
Bumbleo. Tim from Melbourne here again. The last film at the film festival, which finished on the weekend, I watched was Woodlands Dark and Days Bewitched by Kier La Janice. These works and special features for Severin, and she recently made a doco for the Blood and Satan's Claw that ended up being 2 hours, so they said, I'll just keep going. So they made an extra long one that has hundreds of films in it about the folk horror genre, including a lot of ones that you think they weren't actually horror, but they do turn out to be. I like the bit at the start focusing on the British horror films of the 70s, because there was a lot of old ones I hadn't heard of before. Second hour was the American ones, and the third one's the rest of the world. But there's different editor for the last third of it, so they didn't go country by country because it'd be too much, they thought. It is a bit like reading an encyclopedia because she was an author before that. But it was pretty enjoyable. And I had a friend who tried to watch them on the last day of the film festival, run out of time because he had 23 hours to watch it and still didn't make it. It sounds a bit like Raven Shadow. Yeah. All right. Thanks. Bye.
You know what's funny? I actually saw this pop up because MZ, I'm surprised you haven't heard of this, or maybe you have. But let me just say, I want to see who's putting it out, because I saw that you can buy the box set of this. And I have actually, I'm trying to see where I've heard of Kier La Janice. I know she does a lot. I mean, she does a lot. She's a producer and editor, and she's directed some stuff as well. And she's even has credit as an actress, so she's done a lot of stuff. Some of the films she's produced. Oh, she produced a Eurocrime, MZ. That was the film by your buddy Mike Malloy, right? Do you know Mike Malloy, or is that maybe it's Professor J?
No.
Yeah, Professor J knows Mike Malloy. Okay, I thought you knew him as well.
I wish.
I wish. But so this sounds cool. Woodlands Dark and Days Bewitched, a history of folk horror. MZ, I know you're a big fan of folk horror, so I'm sure that this really appeals to you. Let me look up because there's a box set available for it. I'm just trying to find the info on it. I saw as actually I think Agora shared the box set thing. Oh, okay, here it is. It's available for pre-order from Severin. So you can get the Blu-ray. You can just order the documentary by itself. But I think there is also a whole box set that comes with it. That's what I'm looking for here. Okay. Here it is. Okay. It's called All the Haunts Be Ours, a compendium of folk horror. So this is $170, but it comes with the actual documentary, Woodlands Dark and Days Bewitched. And then it comes with like a bunch of special features from it. And then on there's several other discs that include some of the folk horror films that are being discussed in the box set. So we have Eyes of Fire, Crying Blue Sky, how do you say this? Leptirica, Witchhammer, V, which is that Russian film that you've talked about, I think, MZ, right? Did you see V? Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Lake of the Dead, Tilbury, The Dreaming, Kadicha, or Kadicha. I don't know how to say that. It's an Australian film. Celia, Allison's Birthday, Wilczyca, which is I'm probably saying that wrong. It's a Polish film. Yeah, there's a lot of really interesting folk horror stuff on this. A box set for $170 from Severin Films. I think there's like 20 flicks available on the box set, so could be worth it for those folks who are interested in really rounding out their folk horror. It's called All the Haunts Be Ours, a compendium of folk horror. So that's the one I was looking for. Okay, so I finally found it. But yeah, that's really cool. I'm glad Tim talked about that because I had seen the link being shared because it's available for pre-order right now. So that's awesome. All right. Now let's hear from our buddy Arkham Josh.
Hey, Trick or Treat Radio guys, it's Arkham Josh here. Just calling in, trying to catch up on a little bit of things. Sorry it's been a few weeks, but things get busy every once in a while. Really gotten to catch up on a couple of the films lately. So I'll jump into Dakra. I thought it was a really interesting film. Yes, there was the somewhat obvious surface level comparisons to other movies that we discussed last week, but as some said, I think it was kind of like a surface level or setup only comparison. I thought the film had a good mood. Thought it had an interesting story. The pacing was a little off to me. Sometimes I thought it lagged. The kind of end result of the story, I can't be like, oh, I called it, but there was a large portion of it that I was like, oh, this is connected, kind of thing. That I figured out pretty much 10 minutes into the movie. I had an idea of where it was going. But overall, it was an enjoyable and entertaining watch. Had some good camera work and some good special effects. So I would say it's a treat and a recommend. Especially if it ends up on a more standardized streaming platform. If it ends up back on Shudder, definite recommend. I guess I can't really, tell people to run out and pay extra to see it because it might not work for everyone. Now, this week's film, Demonic, Steph and I actually went and got to see this in the theater the other night, and this is an interesting film and more fun than I expected. I also might be saying that because it was in the theater. I thought it had an interesting story, and what I really liked how it was kind of genre hoppy, where like it started as this like Cronenbergian type thing, and then like went into this kind of more like supernatural horror film type of thing. So I really kind of like how it kind of kept taking these turns. I thought it had some good effects. I thought they blended the kind of CGI alternate reality world well with the regular world shots. Characters were good. I thought the writing was good because, there's a number of instances where you're usually watching somebody in a movie and you're like, oh, why don't you do that? Oh, why don't you do this? And for the most part, these characters were actually doing those things. Like, not to give too much away, but, there's a scene where somebody goes missing and somebody almost immediately calls the cops and then goes to somebody else and actually explains to them what's been going on, like happening to them. So, so I thought it was interesting. It was very well written, and it was a lot of fun in the theater. So Demonic's definitely a big treat and a recommend. Still going to try to catch up on The Maid. I definitely want to check that out. And I don't know. Hope everything's going well for you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Looking forward to whatever's next week. All right? Bye.
All right, Josh. Thanks, buddy. So Josh checking in, letting us know his thoughts on both Demonic and Docra. So we appreciate that, Josh. And pretty cool. He got to see Demonic in the theater. That's awesome. I imagine that would probably step things up a little bit. I mean, it was fine watching at home, but I bet that it probably would have translated a little bit better on the big screen, as they say. All right, we got one more. This is Raven Shadow. It's got to put a smile on your face. It's from your boy, your stablemate, Double D.
What's up, Trick or Treat peeps? This is your boy, Double D, calling in from Cell Block 6. Just chiming in to say what's up and to give you my 2 cents in regards to the movie of the week, Demonic. I was actually looking forward to watching this movie since I've been a Neil Blomkamp fan for a while. I absolutely loved District 9. I thought it was fantastic. I can't wait for the sequel to come out. I did like Elysium as well. Not as much as District 9, obviously. And I wasn't crazy about Chappie at all. So I think that was 6 years ago, that movie, if I'm not mistaken. So I was looking forward to this movie. And since he's jumping into like another genre there of horror, since his movies are more sci-fi related and social commentary, I was actually curious as to about how it would play out. And I think the movie started fine and well. It had a pretty familiar premise. And I thought it moved along fine for the opening act. But then, I don't know, things just got weird for me there. I think it stole like a lot of elements from like other movies. It reminded me a lot of the movie The Cell, with Jennifer Lopez and Vincent D'Onofrio, actually. Same kind of concept and stuff, and almost like an Inception-like-esque type of concept as well. So I think the issue for me was this movie wasn't really very scary for me. I don't know if it's just maybe I'm a bit desensitized to horror movies now since I watched so many of them, but I don't think it was actually very scary at all. And I just, even the acting itself, I think at times it was inadvertently comedic. I didn't think the acting was very good at all. It's just, it didn't do it for me. And I don't know if it was just me, but the movie itself, it was too dark. A lot of the scenes, I literally had to put the screen up to my face in order to see what's going on. And
like Rave Chat.
I guess I would be more forgiving if this was a movie by a first-time director. Something you would see at Sci-Fi, like on a Friday night or something, is fine. But and I would be inclined even to give it like a tepid treat. But since it was written and directed by Neil Blomkamp, and we know his potential as a director and writer, I just can't see him doing this movie. So it was very disappointing. So it's definitely a trick for me. I'm curious to hear what you guys had to say about the movie. And yeah, let me know, guys. Take care. Bye.
All right, Double D. Thanks for checking in, man. Rave Chat, what do you think? What do you think about Double D's thoughts?
Yo, I got his back, man.
You got his back.
Yeah.
That's what you think about his thoughts.
Yeah, I respect his thoughts.
Do you agree? Do you disagree?
I always agree with D. And yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but you said it was a treat.
Always.
Sounds like he didn't really dig it. So apparently you don't disagree. Or you do disagree, I mean.
I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, like, listen, I agree to agree, man.
Did you listen to the voicemail?
Oh, geez.
Do you tune out your friend?
No, I'm with that, man. Like, you know, what are you
I'm
gonna
with
do?
that, man.
You're with what?
You didn't say yes or no. He says, I'm with that.
I'm
with what?
Yeah.
Repeat something he said.
He said that he didn't find it scary. He's a
Okay.
big fan. You know what I mean? He thought it felt a little bit choppy. I like some of the exciting things that were introduced. But hey, man, it's all good. He doesn't yell at me.
He should.
He would if he was on the show with you.
He's always down. So no, I'm
And
with
he's
that.
going to start yelling at you after listening to you agree with his review.
I'm gonna call you tomorrow. D
You
call
want a
me.
cup of what?
What? No, I have D call me tomorrow. We're gonna talk.
Oh, call you tomorrow. I
On
thought
the
you wanted a
top.
cup of something.
I do want a cup of a lot of things.
Shut the hell up. That's the kind of cup you need. Like a tall glass of shut the hell up. Corny says he sent a voice message, but I don't see anything. He also left a voice message for the Star Wars show, and it went to my spam, and I didn't see it.
Shit.
Corny's spam now, apparently.
I'll tell you right now, Coney sent me something very nice today.
What?
Like a gentleman.
What did he send you?
Blu-ray copy of the Book of Eli with the Denzel.
Oh, you love that movie.
I've not seen the movie, but we were talking about it, and Corny is repping it. I said I hadn't seen that, but he sent it to me today, so it was a very nice surprise. I opened the mailbox looking for some bills, and I got
Looking for some bills.
yeah. So this is much better. So thank you, Corny. I love you, brother. Thank you. And don't.
Now,
listen-
are you going to respect him and sit down and watch that in one sitting?
No.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. Once again, Corny. Don't
Stream
listen
it.
to Eric.
Stream
He's
it.
bad.
Go live. Watch it live.
I'll do it. I fucking whatever the fuck.
Facebook Live it, yeah.
20 minutes is it?
How many minutes is it? It's
Marion, we're just Sunday.
Oh man, so that's pretty cool though. It's not even your birthday. Look how close. Rave Joe,
It's not.
where are your progressives?
I don't even know. Some brutal violence.
I'm surprised you
then-
haven't seen Book of Eli.
Yeah, no, I do have. I had a cousin's husband that was repping it pretty big.
A cousin's husband. Okay.
My cousin, like he actually bought me my first. Well, let's just say he had an awakening, right? Like Shawn Michaels, right? What do they call that? Born again. So, you know, what are you gonna do? But he enjoyed the Book of Eli, and I'll watch that. And Corny likes that, so I like Corny, and I like Denzel. So thank
Is
you,
Corny Denzel?
He is like Denzel. I've never seen them both in the same room.
Well, that's true. I haven't either. Yeah, Corny says, wow, never mind. Corny, I get an email. I just checked my spam. Maybe,
Yeah, Corny.
Maybe he sent it via Raven Shadow Express.
Don't project.
Don't project? What?
No.
All right. Well, that is it for voice messages then. If Corny's... I just double-checked. I searched my email for Cornelius Burrows, and the last one I got from Cornelius, or Evil Corny, I should say, was the anniversary one that he left.
That was a good.
It was a good one. Do you remember what he said?
Said fuck everybody but Raven Shadow.
I don't think so.
I don't
think he did.
I don't think he did.
All right. So I guess we're gonna have to wrap it up then, Corny. I'm sorry, man. Sorry. If you send it now again, I'll play it right away. But have to send it before the end of the show. Otherwise, I'll play it next week. All right. So, you guys have anything else going on? MZ, you tired? Tired, bro?
Just waiting on you.
Just waiting on me.
Yes.
For what? To end this shit?
How's your feet? Show us your feet again.
No,
Show Corny.
No, don't encourage him.
Don't do that to Corny.
He's in such a rush to end this show. He's been watching TV all night.
Yeah, what are you watching, MZ? I see can see the light shining on your face. What are you watching?
The light shining on my face.
Yeah, fucking Rocky Dennis. What are you watching?
Watching us. Watching us.
Why are you watching us?
Why can't I be watching
You're not watching us because the color is changing.
No, I think he means the movie Us.
That's it.
Yeah, you're definitely not watching us. The show. All right. So yeah, next week we're gonna do the last matinee. Looking forward to checking that out. And let's see. Anything else we need to talk about? Nope. All right. So let's go around and say goodbye. Start with MZ.
Arrivederci, douchebags.
Aries.
Goodbye.
Raven Shadow.
Live fast, love hard, survive.
All right, we'll try. All right, well, that is going to do it for the show. So we appreciate you guys tuning in, everyone who watched the live show, and everybody who sent in voice messages, including you, Corny, even though it somehow didn't arrive. Maybe Corny is like, he's there because he got sent to my spam for the Star Wars show. What if he's been spamming people?
Dun 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 dun. Spam.
I think your computer is racist, is what it is.
Wow.
Not you, just your computer.
Wow. Wow, that's a bold statement. Jesus.
Like, imagine if, like, from Knight Rider, Kit was racist. Hello, Michael.
Yeah. What would he say?
I'm not. Not going there, brother.
Hello, Michael. You are far superior than anyone else in this show.
What a dick car that would be. I got fucked. Yeah, my car is bulletproof. It can drive through walls, but he's a fucking...
And it's racist.
I have a racist supercar. That sucks.
Oh, God.
That'd be terrible.
Oh, shit. Evil Corny says I was thinking the same thing, Aries. Fuck. Jeez. Oh, man. All right. Well, let's end this. So that is going to do it. As I said, next week we'll be talking about the film The Last Matinee. It is available on VOD platforms everywhere. And we hope you guys come back and join us. We'll be doing episode 475. Wow, 25 away from 500. 500. We're going to be almost as old as MZ. All right, so yeah, that is going to do it. We appreciate you guys tuning in. And once again, for Patreon, we're going to be doing a Monster Piece Theater. Keep an eye out in Discord for some information about that, about where, the when, the how, the what, all that info. And that's it. So thank you to all you guys who are going to check out the podcast on Fridays when it drops, and then also to all of our Patreon supporters. We love you guys so much. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.